about 7 days later, they realised that they'd perforated my bowel, and I was in intensive care for 4 weeks. Came home with liquid nutrition being fed into my arm. Well, food. I couldn't have oral food or drink or water or anything. So I was kept alive through that being fed into my arm. And things have not been great since, really. But it was in February this year that I was feeling absolutely dreadful. Could barely get up in the morning, wasn't functioning properly, had terrible memory. I couldn't string sentences together without getting my words jumbled up in different order. And I just thought I was having I was just so fatigued from Crohn's, chronic diarrhea, vomiting. But then I had a symptom which I'd never had before, which was head to toe pins and needles and twitching. My cheek would twitch. And it just, it was all over my body. And I rang the specialist gastro sister hotline, and they wanted me to go to the GP immediately to be assessed, hands-on assessment. I didn't know them, but they thought that I was having a pulmonary embolism happening. Oh. Which was pretty scary. The GP didn't examine me, just said, if it's happening all over your body and not just one side, then it can't be that, and sent me home. The hospital rang me back and said, we're not happy with that. We want your friend to put you in the car right now and get you to A&E. So I said, okay. And I'm used, this has happened a lot to me over the years, but not this particular symptom. So I arrived at A&E, and it's the same kind of thing as usual. Well, you've got Crohn's disease, so it's all very sort of relaxed, and we'll get your gastroenterologist down as soon as we can. And you basically sit in a private room or in a bay for a couple of hours. But this particular instance, I had 2 friends with me, and they did my bloods. I was feeling absolutely dreadful. I could barely move. And then when they got the blood results back, all hell let loose. I was laying in the bed, and 3 doctors come running to my bay, and they grabbed my bed and they were running down the corridor with me, with my friend saying, what's happening? And they said her bloods are back and showing dangerously low levels of malnutrition, to the point where she could have a heart attack. We need to get her to the cardio ward as soon as possible and get her on a heart monitor and pump her full of nutrition that she needs. So I was absolutely terrified because, I kind of, although it's been very scary over the years, it really has, the Crohn's. I was used to that. I was used to the symptoms. I knew the drill. I knew what happened. But to be told that I could have a heart attack because I didn't have enough nutrition, which had never been an issue before. So I was put on a heart monitor, and for 4 days and 4 nights, I laid there on my own, looking at this beep, wondering whether I was going to have a heart attack. They pumped me full of magnesium and potassium and iron. I was there for 5 days, and then they sent me home. And so I just kind of thought that was something that had happened. I'd when you have diarrhea and vomiting, you're obviously depleting yourself of nutrition. What I didn't realise was this new condition that I'd got, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, which I've developed in the last year post-surgery, is that it causes severe malnutrition. You can't absorb nutrients. And so from February until about 3 months ago, I couldn't work. I couldn't get up in the morning. My son was helping me shower. By the time I'd showered, I had to go back to bed. I basically wasn't functioning. I had no memory. And I was really, really concerned. And it wasn't until, hospital intervention again that I become aware it's because I was so malnutritioned, and that this new condition means that I can't actually absorb nutrition naturally. And what I couldn't work out is because I'd been on a multivitamin, apparently a really good, expensive multivitamin tablet since February that's supposed to have everything in it, that's required. So I've got 3 issues with not being able to take nutrition. One, because my diet, because of the Crohn's, is so lacking in nutrition, because I basically eat white foods, you know, white rice, potato, chicken, fish, hardly any vegetables, fruit, or no salad, no fruit. So what I'm actually taking in orally has very, very low nutritional value. Then I have the second issue, which is the SIBO, which causes malnutrition. It means you can't absorb the nutrients. And the third issue is that I've had so much bowel taken away now that my bowel is so short, there's not enough bowel there to absorb the nutrition. And so what I learned, which was, you know, it was quite a wake up. I had a pretty dark time for about a month where I just thought, you know, this is life threatening. I then realised that I had to have my bloods done regularly, and every time the results come back in, they would say what I was, you know, very low in, and I would have to go to hospital and, you know, lay on a ward for a day and have all of this nutrition pumped straight into, you know, IV fluids. And yeah, I was absolutely devastated, because you know, when you realise, I mean, I've lived with this disease for a long time, but when you realise that you actually, you know, your life is actually in the hands of other people, that you know that you can't, your body's not functioning. And I'd heard of arbonne years ago, but it's like, I'm sure there's a lot of Crohn's and ulcerative colitis and IBS people out there that are so nervous about taking things, because I have always been, you know, I can only have what my gastroenterologist tells me. Have to be so careful, you know, what it is I'm taking, and you don't know what's in it, etc. But things got so bad, and I wasn't particularly being looked after very well. I wasn't, during COVID, I'd basically just fallen off the system, and I realised that it's that serious and life-threatening that I had to take things into my own hands. And so I did various things, and one of the things was to get in contact with you, because I'd looked at a couple of different nutritional supplements, and all of them, apart from arbonne, were dairy based, and I can't have dairy. And actually, when I looked and compared the nutrition in them compared to all of the others, and of course I had no allegiance to anything then, and I thought, you know, I was in that much of a desperate state that I thought, I'm going to try the arbonne protein shake. One, because I'm not used to having fruit and vegetables and salad or anything really that tastes that nice. Oh my God, it tastes so nice. So my son and I were taking it for about 3.5 weeks, just one a day. And then I decided to go and have my bloods checked. And when I got the results, I cried, and I rang you, didn't I? And we both cried, yeah, because the results had gone from back in February being dangerously low. And during that time, I've had direct infusions of nutrition that haven't got me to the levels that arbonne has got me to, because I haven't had an infusion. I was due an infusion. So that means I was getting to the point where I would be really low again, and I don't need to have it. And I've spoken to my gastroenterologist, who's just absolutely, you know, beside himself, and I said, well, why is it working? He said, because you're drinking a liquid and it's absorbing the liquid. It doesn't have to break down, you know, the tablets. And so, yeah, I mean, it really has been life-changing. It's been a lifesaver, and it means not only do I feel well, I mean, if I tell you some of the symptoms that I had, I think I sent you the photograph of my skin. So
yeah, so people will be wondering about that, because that's posted before this. So you had your before and after of your skin.
Oh, okay, cool. So I had this terrible, crusty, burning rash on my face. And I'd been treated for about 3 months by my GP. She gave me 4 different creams, antibiotics. None of them did anything. And
did they know why it was happening? Did they say why?
It wasn't attributed until it went away. When my nutrition came up, they said, oh, well, yes, there's something that malnutrition.
No one looked into why your skin was doing what it was doing. They were just quite happy to give you a cream.
One cream after another that didn't do anything at all. Yeah. You know, it was so bad. I couldn't put anything on my face. It hurt to put water on my face. Can you imagine? I couldn't wear makeup, or, I mean, you know, for my job, mean, I wasn't well enough to work anyway at that point. But yeah, it was really scary, and I know that there's people out there with bowel conditions that, like me, are absolutely terrified to try things. But I just think I need to shout out there. You know, I'm a veteran Crohn sufferer. You know, nearly 30 years, and this has just been, apart from the fact that it's changed everything for the better. I get up in the morning and I can't wait to have it because it's so lovely and cold, and just mentally I can feel that it's what it's doing, that it's doing so much good. So it means that I don't have to go to the hospital and have infusions anymore. And it's just, you know, I mean, just for financially and work-wise, I have to take a day off work every single time I go to do that. I'm self-employed.
Yeah.
But I was going to, because I always forget, so I wrote a list of the things that I suffered from when I had malnutrition. So the fatigue was, like I said, I wasn't functioning. My memory was terrible. I had day and night headaches. So I'd wake up in the night with a headache, and when I woke up, you know, again in the morning, it was still there. I was living on paracetamol. My speech, so I was mixing up words. When I was writing, I would in my head I would see the word properly, but as it came out, I would put the letters back to front. Bizarre. My hair, during that period, I had to have so much chopped off my hair because it went so brittle. My hairdresser just said, look, I know you're growing your hair, but you know, it was awful. It was trying to get any sort of lather on my hair when I was shampooing it. It was just so brittle. So she had to cut chunks out. My fingernails were splitting, my cuticles, and I just felt like felt like I was functioning on about 5%. I went to the doctors because I got so anxious, because I said, there's actually no point me being here anymore. I have no life. You know, I feel just so dreadful all the time, and I can't take it anymore.
Wow. Oof, it's incredible. So you were using the so is it 2 scoops of arbonne protein a day? That's just
I was doing 1 scoop of this because my son only read the other day and said, oh, we should be doing 2 scoops. But
so it's only 1 scoop.
And a scoop of this, which I'm just about to run out of.
Multivitamin. Oh yeah, you need to come and collect it.
Yes.
And the scoop of the multivitamin, which you can't taste in the shake, can you? I don't think you can taste it.
No. So when I first bought this from you for Charlie, for my son, about a year ago, I was stupid. I didn't ask you. I just put it into squash, and he was like,
"Yes, not."
We've decided it smells like the bottom of a hamster cage when it needs clearing out.
It's not great. It's not great.
But in the shake, can't taste it at all.
No,
can't taste it at all.
Absolutely incredible. So everybody that's in this group right now watching, so we've got I'm trying to look 15 people at the moment, and there'll be loads watching back replay. They're all being informed at the moment about a program called the 30 Days to Healthy Living that starts on the 4th of January, and we, like as consultants, we scream and shout that it's not calorie counting, it's not a weight loss program, it's none of those fad diet things. This is about fueling your body with the best nutrition ever. And we all give our cars an MOT once a year, but people just won't be open to kind of giving their bodies the same thing. So even if you've been looking at this and you're thinking, no, I can't afford this, or this isn't for me, just by buying a bag of protein and having 1 shake a day can be the step forward to a healthier you, as you've completely
But I mean, it's when you put it into context, it's so affordable. It's cheaper than getting a Costa, isn't it? Yeah. You know, and yeah. I know. For me, I'm it's an extreme case. But I'm just hoping that when people listen to this, they realise that if it can do this for me, and I've been so unwell, and I have a condition that doesn't allow me to absorb, then for people that don't have these conditions, but maybe they're lacking in a little bit of something, because I don't know, because we all don't eat what we should do every day, because of course we're human, and we haven't got the sun shining at the moment, so there's no vitamin D, etc. So yeah, I mean, God, just give it a go. Yeah.
And that people say about arbonne, people have this arbonne glow, and you can't put your finger on it, but the people who fuel their bodies with the nutrition have this glow about them. And from your before and after, you're literally glowing like a ray of sunshine now. I can't thank you enough for your testimony. Could you just say one more time, because I forgot to press record at the beginning, what were your conditions before all of this? So what have you suffered from? Sorry.
So my conditions are Crohn's disease, endometriosis, SIBO, which stands for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, and that's the condition that I've recently started to suffer with post-surgery, which means it causes malabsorption. So it means that you can't naturally absorb nutrients and nutrition. And lastly, short bowel syndrome, because I've had so many bowel resections, I don't actually have enough bowel left to absorb naturally.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you. I'm so thrilled. Your phone call changed my life. It stopped me dead in my tracks in Morrison's car park, and I couldn't drive for about 10 minutes. And Isabel was like, "Are we going now, Mum?" I was like, "I can't go anywhere. I just have to wait. Just let me take this in." So thank you for sharing that. This is going to help hundreds of people, and I know this recording will be sent to so many people who suffer from Crohn's disease and are scared, like you said, of trying anything, which is what the most common objection is.
I'm just going to say actually that I had, so the last phone consultation that I had with my gastroenterologist, which was only about a week and a half ago, and he was in shock when I was telling him. So I was giving him the blood results, and he was saying, "I'm looking at it now." And so then whenever I have an appointment, he then sends a letter to myself and my GP to just back up, you know, what's happened with the appointment. And he's put in there about the results of the bloods, and he put it down to, and he's put home remedy.
There you go.
So we need to get this into the National Association of Crohn's and Colitis, which is obviously a huge group. I mean, the people that are suffering from malnutrition that don't need to be, and the fact that the hospitals and the medical profession aren't aware that this is, I mean, I spoke to the dietitian actually at the hospital, and when I explained it all to her then, and as soon as I said arbonne, she said, "Oh yes, you know, that's amazing." And I thought, well, why haven't you not mentioned this in the past? They've given me so many different nutritional drinks and none of them have done anything.
Probably because they're not allowed, maybe, I'm not sure, because because it's a, you know.
Well, no, because they've given me there's quite a few things that I'm buying privately. Well, not quite a few. There's arbonne and there's a probiotic, which tries to help with the symptoms of SIBO. But they no, actually they do. It is a recommendation. It is a recommendation because it comes through with all. I don't think they're allowed to say one in particular, but they give an idea of a few that you can choose. Yeah. Yeah. So.
Well, you can help us with that, Suzie. You can spread the word, can't you?
Anything I can do.
Thank you so much for watching, and everybody that's watching live, thank you again. If you've got any questions, just pop them in the comments section. I'm sure Suzie's in the page now, she can answer any. And then you're going to share your blood results, aren't you, at a later date?
I am, yes, I'll do that. I'll type that up now for you.
Amazing. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And you, bye.